think it's funny when you add a little bit of money to a sport and you give some girls attention, what they can do with it. I think everyone should take a page out of our book and really put some more time and effort into women's everything.
Welcome to Breaking the Glass Hockey Podcast. We are talking women's hockey from the PWHL to the NCAA. We will be talking with players, builders, coaches and fans who have made this great game what it is today. Educate, empower, elevate. Let's go!
Welcome back, Breaking the Glass Hockey Podcast. It's your boy Brownie. Linda was unable to make it today for this interview, but episode 36, I think. And I am pleased to introduce our guest here. This is someone that we've wanted since, I guess it was like mid-January was when we were like, we want her on. But number 14 for the Harvard Crimson, Carla McSweeney. Carla, how are you? Thanks for doing this.
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on.
You know, it just dawned on me. I forgot to ask you about this ahead of time, but one of the selling points was when Breaking the Glass followed you on Instagram, the McSweetness handle. I was like, oh, that's sick. We got to have her. And do you know the history of Carla's in Boston? Have you ever seen Cheers?
No. Mm-mm.
You've never seen Cheers? The old, you're young. Yeah. It was an old TV show, and Rhea Perlman played this very Boston enthusiastic, like, waitress in the bar, but she was a huge sports fan, like Boston through and through, and she was Carla. Yeah.
Oh, maybe I'll have to give it a watch.
Yeah, you should. She's pretty funny. But we're not here to talk about TV. We're here to talk about hockey. And we wanted to have you on. We like to get as many different players and their stories and backgrounds as we can. And I really was intrigued by yours coming through Chicago and the mission team and stuff, and I wanted to get into that. And so the World Selects Invitational MVP in 2019, USA Hockey U18 Select Team in 2023, 4 times All-State in Illinois during your 4 years of high school, and the Illinois High School Ice Hockey Player of the Year 24-25. Not a bad little resume walking into Cambridge, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, growing up playing Chicago hockey is just like the best place, I think, to be playing youth hockey. So many teams, and like personally, I just love Chicago. So yeah. I wouldn't trade it for any other path.
No, that's fair. And plus, Chicago is centrally located. Like you guys can pop up to Canada pretty easily. Yeah. You got Michigan. It's pretty centrally
located. We're right there with Minnesota, Michigan, Canada. Easy flight to the East Coast when needed. So It's a good spot.
Who got you started in hockey? Was it family?
Yeah. So I didn't even start in hockey. I started skating first. I was a figure skater. My mom had figure skated growing up, and around right before I turned 3, I started skating and fell in love with skating first. So I just figure skated for about 2 years. And then one day we were at the rink and the hockey players were practicing after my figure skating lesson. And I told my mom, like, I want to do that. I want to play hockey. She was like, you're a figure skater. Like, we're going to stick with it. And I was like, no, like, I'll take hockey. And she let me try it. And from the first hockey practice, I loved it. So I stuck with figure skating until I moved to AAA, and then had to just switch to only hockey.
Did you get to the point of figure skating where you can watch like the Olympics and realize what they're doing and put the technical part of it? You can be like, oh, the reason this got a higher score is because of X.
I got to a fairly decent level. I know I can like tell what's happening when I watch. I could not execute any of those moves that they do, but I can watch and like follow along. It's one of my favorite winter sports besides hockey to watch. Nice. So, yeah.
Did you play? Was there other sports growing up, or were you solely hockey?
I was multiple sports. So my mom made like a big push to like not just play hockey, and so every summer until maybe the middle of middle school, actually, I didn't skate at all. I played tennis, I golfed, did swim team, did a bunch of other sports. During the school year, I played basketball. I was on the volleyball team for a little bit, tried a bunch of different things, which looking back was so important, not only for like my development as a hockey player, but just to meet new people and be someone who it's always nice to have the skills of another sport.
Well, it's also, and for parents that are listening, I mean, I don't know how many times we can say this. You should have your kids playing all the sports because every single athlete we have on here, it's the same story. And the biggest thing to me as a former coach and, athlete was that you learn how to not be the big dog. You know what I mean? Because clearly
Yes.
you're an excellent hockey player, but when you go play volleyball, you probably weren't the best, and you
No,
learn to be. So that makes you able to relate to like the person that's just hanging on to the hockey spot, by their
for
fingernail.
sure.
Yeah.
And it's nice to sort of step out of your comfort zone when you get a little comfortable in hockey. I'll go home over the summer. The past few years, I've really tried to improve my golf, and it's been quite a humbling experience. And so it's fun to try something new and to have to learn from the start.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Was there a player that you patterned your game after, like a local player or a college player at the
You
time?
know, growing up in Chicago, when I did, it was in the midst of the Blackhawks dynasty.
I was going to ask
So
about the Blackhawks next.
middle of the Blackhawks dynasty, and I love Patrick Kane. Just
Okay.
like he was my favorite player growing up for sure. I knew all of the Blackhawks players, but I think I really modeled after, or at least attempted to
Right.
model after him.
It's crazy. He's still going. He's still doing those warm-ups, and every once in a while he puts out a
Yeah.
video where he dangles through all the pucks. It's
It's
crazy.
it's crazy. We miss him in Chicago right now, but
Yeah.
we'll
Yeah.
see.
I was a big Buff guy from those teams. Bufflin was my guy. Yeah. He was something else.
Yeah.
All right, so the Latin School of Chicago, the Romans. So I did some digging here, and it was hard. It's funny with talking to women hockey players, you are like the beginning of having a history, if that makes sense, your age bracket. The players like 2, 3, 4 years ahead of you, it's very hit or miss. Like, superstars like Hillary Knight's, all her stats are available. But, like a third line or a middle six type of player, you can't find anything.
Yeah.
It's getting better, but do they still have a hockey program? It looks like they consolidated with some other schools. It was very unclear.
Yeah, so I played for Latin School of Chicago, but it's a part of a 6-school team because we didn't have enough
Okay.
players. So we played with a bunch of other city schools, and we played under the Roman name was like
Gotcha.
the big thing. So we were the Romans, and it was really nice actually to play with kids from like all over the city because I got to meet a ton of different people and play with kids outside of just Latin, which was great.
Was it practices like moving around, or was it all in a
So
central
we
spot?
all played on our club teams.
Mhm.
It was a mix of AAA and AA kids on the high school team, which is another fun part of it. And we all would play on our club teams and just come together for games, which was
Oh,
kind of
okay.
another cool aspect of it.
Would the coach give you stuff like, "Hey, I know you're going back to your club team, but could you work on A, B, and C?"
I mean, for the most part, it was like just on us and our club coaches. In the city, Chicago high school works more where club is your main focus,
Okay.
compared to like a Minnesota where like high school is your main focus. In Chicago, your club team's your main focus. So a lot of our games were like Sunday nights after we got back from our tournaments and stuff like that.
And this is my ignorance because I grew up here in Mass. With Chicago, like the suburbs, it was a similar setup, or was the
Yeah,
suburbs
similar
more like a
setup.
Minnesota?
Similar setup in the suburbs. For boys, it's a different story, but
Right.
for girls, it's the same all over Illinois. We played a bunch of suburban schools also,
Huh,
so it's all
okay.
just one. Yeah.
So we asked about your Blackhawks. Are you a Bears fan too?
I am a Bears fan. I growing up wasn't super into the Bears,
No.
but with our most recent run towards the
Yeah.
Super Bowl this year, I've gotten really on board. So I'm
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah, they're a fun team. They're a fun team to watch.
Yeah.
All right, so a state championship in 21-22. You were part of that as well. Yeah.
Yeah. That was
What
my high school team. Wow. Yeah.
that was so what stands out? What do you remember from that?
So that was my freshman year of high
Oh, it's
school,
freshman. Okay.
and the team was a special group for sure, and we actually went undefeated. So we were, I think,
Wow.
the first team in girls high school hockey to go perfect season undefeated. Since then, in the past few years, other teams have also done it. But it was a great year. We started our season off playing New Trier, which was like our big rival at the time, and we ended playing them in the state championship, which was
Oh,
super
that's
cool.
sick. Yeah.
It was sort of a full circle moment, but that was what really sold me on high school hockey, like to make the effort to go on those Sunday nights to play those games and to stay involved with it was that experience for sure.
I will say too, that's a good lesson to learn as a freshman in high school, the pressure versus privilege, thing where you have the pressure of the undefeated season, but it's a privilege that you guys were able to put yourselves in that spot. So
For
that's a
sure.
good learning curve for you.
Yeah, I think it set me up well for the rest of my high school hockey experience.
And then this popped up too when I was doing the research. Uh, Nancy Reagan, William Wrigley Jr., and Ike Barinholtz all went to your
Those
high
sound
school.
like some Latin alumni, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I mean, I relate more to Ike Barinholtz than the other two, but it's pretty cool though. Yeah,
No, I'm very grateful for my time at Latin. I'm very proud Roman, so
nice. Very good. Very good. Um, so in high school, you learned about the ITP, the acute ITP.
mhm.
It was after a virus, and yeah?
Yeah, I, had a virus for, like, a week and didn't feel great, went to the doctor, they tested me for a bunch of things, couldn't figure out what the virus was, and then
Which
finally
is a
sort of got
scary thing, especially
which
as a
is
high school kid. Yeah.
yes, so which was the abnormal thing that they couldn't figure out, wasn't any of the normal flu, that type of thing. So till this day, I still don't know what virus I had, which is kind of a crazy thing. But at the end of that week on a Sunday, I'm like finally over the hump of this virus and I'm like sitting doing a puzzle and my nose starts to bleed. And I'm like,
Wow.
that's like a weird symptom. Like, okay, you get nosebleeds, I guess, but it wouldn't stop. So I had a nosebleed for like 3 straight days. And then after the nosebleed started, I noticed a bunch of other bleeding symptoms that then looking back were extremely scary at first that you like don't think you're like, what is this? And now that I've educated myself on ITP, it's pretty standard symptoms to have. So
So I'm gonna listen. I know I'm talking to Harvard here, but I'm gonna dumb it down for most of our listeners here. So it's your immune system mistakenly destroys platelets, which makes it you don't have the ability to clot, and you easily can bruise and the bloody nose, and it can
yep.
lead to internal bleeding. Yeah.
Yeah. So your immune system basically makes antibodies for your platelets in your blood cells, which your platelets are what allow you to clot. So
Right.
when I went to the hospital, I had basically no platelets in my body. They had all been destroyed by my immune system. And so when you don't have platelets, obviously like nosebleeds, petechia, which is basically like a rash of
Yeah.
bruises, are all things that you'll notice. But then you're at risk for a lot of other things, right? Because you need platelets. Even just like a small cut, a bump here or there can lead to internal bleeding, which can be really dangerous.
So were they giving you like hemophilia factors and stuff like that?
So I was in the hospital, they observed, and then I needed treatment. So you have a couple options. I went with IVIG, which as
Oh yeah,
a
yeah. Yep.
science nerd a little bit, it
I
basically
weirdly I used to sell plasma derived pharmaceuticals
oh,
in a
okay,
past
there you
life,
go.
so
Yeah.
I know about that a little bit. Yeah,
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 so it's basically a concoction from blood products that are
yep.
donated, and it confuses your immune system. They don't know exactly how it works with ITP, but somehow it just snaps your immune system out of basically destroying the platelets, and you can usually get a response pretty quickly. So for everyone out there, donate blood. It can help save a lot of lives.
Yeah, donate blood, donate plasma. See if you're matched to. Oh, there's always people that are in need for sure.
Yeah.
Um, wow, that's something else. And like, I know that the hitting's not the same in boys hockey and girls hockey at the high school level, but a puck,
Yeah, I
a
mean,
slash.
I so my doctor, I was like trying to explain, like, I'm a hockey player, like, what's the timeline? She
I'll be
was like,
careful, doc. I swear, I won't go into
I'm
the
like, I
corners. Yeah,
promise, like, it's like, and she's like, it's very dangerous. Like, hockey's pretty dangerous. And now looking at the moment, I was like, oh, like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, but looking back, like, her concern was like a tiny bump that, like, normally for me is no problem. That's like a catastrophic injury when
right.
I have ITP, right? So, hockey was out of the picture for a hot second there. Yeah.
So I saw an interview where you, and I'm gonna get this wrong because I'm gonna paraphrase it. You said something along the lines of you were once you were past this and you got back to play, you were playing for the girl that thought she wouldn't be able to play anymore. And I gotta tell you, I got emotional like when I heard you say that because it hit me. It's so mature and it gives you a unique perspective and appreciation. And I know players get jaded, right? At the college level, maybe not as much on the women's side as the men's side, but players that take it for granted, like, oh yeah, I got to go to play here, or oh, we got to ride the bus, and it's like you almost lost it. So it's a different,
Yeah.
yeah,
And that perspective took a long time to build, I would say. If you had asked me a year ago, 2 years ago, my perspective on it, getting ITP was like the worst thing that happened to
right,
me, right? Like I had to sit out of hockey. It was this horrible experience. But I think as I've matured past that and sort of processed it, it gave me a new perspective that I otherwise would have never had, right? And today when I play hockey, I said I play for the person never thought they would. So that means like, some things aren't as big deal as you think. Like losing a game can feel like the end of the world. Is it? Probably not, right?
right.
So I think a big part of how I play hockey at this point in my life is you have to keep an element of fun in there. And so having that perspective of like, I'm going to do everything I can. And do not get me wrong, I hate losing and I'm a
Right.
very competitive person. But sometimes being able to take that step back and having that perspective lets you play freer, play a little looser, which then makes you a better hockey player in the long run.
Not only a better hockey player, I think it makes you a healthier person. And I don't mean that
Yes.
as a negative, but there are so many people that get hung up on the mental side of it because it's the ability, they don't have the ability to achieve what they want to achieve, and they beat themselves up for it. And like my daughter's 9 years old. This morning on the ride when I was taking her to school, she was mad, and I'm like, I'm sorry, buddy, we're running behind. I'm trying to do my best. She's like, I'm mad at myself, and I'm like, buddy, you're 9. Let's dial it back. So I get that, and I think it's important. They talk about representation, like the ponytails out the back of the helmets for all the little girls in the stands, but somewhere there's a kid who's dealing with ITP, and they can look to you, and be like, oh my gosh, I could, look at, she's playing D1 hockey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's given me a whole new perspective, and I think taught me a lesson of like, give yourself a little bit of grace and stuff like that. So it pays off in hockey, but it also will help me out as a really important life skill also. So
Yeah,
I'm
for
at
sure.
this
For
point super
sure.
grateful for it.
So then, all right, I wanted to get past that. It was important, but we're here to talk about hockey. I don't want to get it as, I don't want to upset upset the apple cart here. So, Chicago Young Americans 16U, and then the Mission 19U.
Yeah.
As you progressed with the steps and with the club, could you feel the competition step every time?
Yeah, I think I was growing up, it was always told to me that you might be good now, but someone's working to catch you. And I think
Yeah.
I felt that as a player. When I was younger, I was pretty good. I didn't have as much competition maybe per se across like playing other teams, but you hit an age and suddenly everyone you're playing against is good. There's less of a gap between players. And so I could definitely feel that competition growing, but I think that's what pushes you to get better too, right? Playing with people that make you better every day in practice and stuff like that helps you grow. And I think it's a tough adjustment when it first happens, obviously, but in the long run, it's paid off for me. So
Yeah, get that big slice of humble pie on your way out of the locker room, right? Before you head the ice.
exactly.
With the Mission, were you at the Nationals in Marlboro last year? Or no, 2 years ago, 24, 25?
Yes, I was.
You
The
have the neon, right? The neon, and that's you
neon
guys?
green.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's us.
Yeah, I was there. Actually, we had just started the podcast, and my co-host was like, you got to go to Nationals. I'm like, what are Nationals? I had clueless, dude, totally clueless. And we went, and I was like, holy smokes, like that was an unbelievable tournament. For those
Yeah.
out there, if you get a chance to go to watch the Nationals tournament, it is lights out hockey.
Yeah, it's happening right now in New York, actually. So I'm following along.
Oh, are
All
you?
my
Oh,
former
cool.
teammates. Yeah, but Nationals are such a cool because a lot of those teams you don't always see during the year too.
Yeah.
So it's one of the few times where you get such a spread geographically of everyone.
Yeah, you get to see everyone. When you talked about how there's always someone working to be better than you, do you still feel that? Do you still carry that?
I do. Yeah, I think it's a lesson in not being complacent, right? I feel like a lot of times you do something good, you achieve a goal and you're like, okay, like I've done it. But it's like,
Mhm.
no, like what is that next goal? How can I keep working? And I think especially at the college level, there's that feeling of every year you're gaining new teammates and in practice, we talk about this a lot here, like our job's to make each other better by pushing each other, right? So as long as we're competing in practice and pushing each other, we're all going to get better and the team will get better. So I think it's important to keep that element for sure.
I mean, you're playing D1 hockey. Every game is an all-star game, right? Everyone
Yeah.
you're out there against, it could be the fourth line, it could be the spare forward, it could be the seventh defenseman, the third goalie. They were the best player on their high school team, all of them. Yeah, it's I don't understand why people don't watch. So Harvard, how did you choose Harvard, or how were you looking at other schools? I mean, as
Yeah.
we say here in Boston, you were wicked smart, so you got into Harvard. But yeah, how did you end up over in Cambridge?
Yeah, so I went through the recruiting process. I'm sure anyone that's watching that's preparing for June 15th is probably a bit nervous, a bit excited, but
It's a nervous
I went
excitement, right? Yeah.
yeah, it's both sides of that coin. But so I went through my process. I got calls on June 15th, was super excited, but actually didn't talk to Harvard until later in the summer, which I think is a really important point for anyone going through the recruiting process. If you don't get a call on June 15th, it's not the end of the world.
Right.
So I started talking to Harvard later, right after Coach Bellamy actually got the position as the head coach. So started talking to Harvard a little later, eventually came on my official visit here, which I think was one of the main things that sold the deal for me here, just spending time with the team, being on campus, and getting to spend time with the coaches and forming that relationship and hearing what their vision for the program was and my role and responsibility. And that made me feel a huge sense of not only do I love the school campus team, but I could play a big role and I can contribute, which is something that I really wanted to do in my 4 years of college hockey, was to contribute and be a part of a team that made me feel included and welcomed and wanted, right? So my official visit was the first step, and obviously you're talking to the coaches in between and whatnot. I took a few different visits, but Harvard really just stood out to me. And along with the campus, just the academic side was a huge component to me.
Of course.
So being able to get the academics here at Harvard, compared that with, being in the city of Boston, being in Cambridge, and the team and the facilities, it was just unmatched anywhere else.
Had you ever been to Boston prior to your visit?
Yeah, so I had come to the Crim hockey camp growing up a few years. So I have some photos of 12U Carla on the ice at the Bright Landry, which is always
awesome.
funny to look at. But I'd come and visited and toured before, and my grandfather went to Harvard, so we had come and looked around and seen things like that, where his team photos were in the athletics department and stuff like that. But mostly my official visit was the first time I'd really taken a tour and all of that stuff.
Oh, that's great. That's great. You got your first NCAA goal and point in only your second game. I mean, you take the easy route, I guess. You don't do it first. Against UNH. That must have felt especially overcoming the ITP, that must have felt like a huge win for you personally.
Yeah. I mean, I think my first game, it just felt unreal, right? Like a home game, and then
fast.
Felt fast. It felt like there were a few people in the stands, but it felt like a really big rink.
Yeah.
But then we went and drove, first road trip, whole new experience, and to get that first goal was like a weight lifted off. Okay, I deserve to be here. I belong here. Let's go. And so that was a huge moment, not only for me, but then the team. We got our first weekend sweep, which was a huge deal.
And they weren't able to throw that fish on the ice up there. Is there any significance to number 14?
Yeah, so I grew up from my first hockey jersey until I came to Harvard wearing number 44. But we don't have a 44 on the women's team. So I had to go into some shifting, and what was available, I wanted a 4. I wanted an even number.
Okay.
So that left me 4 and 14. Morgan McGathy wears 4 pretty well. So Morgan has 4 and I took 14.
Nice. Perfect. I wanted to ask you about your line mates. So you were playing with Angelica McDanis and Ella Lucia the first half.
Mm-hmm.
And can I just, for a minute, talk about Lucia? Holy smokes. She might be one of my favorite players to watch. It's what game was that? I don't remember. Maybe it was the Quinnipiac game where you guys were hanging on to, or you needed to get a late goal to get back in it late, or I don't remember. But she came out and she played like a minute and a half shift at center. She had like 3 eats, took 2 face-offs, cleared the puck out, just body check. I mean, and I mean this in the most complimentary way, an absolute beast on that
She's
check.
a beast. Yeah.
Unbelievable. Just an absolute certified beautician on the ice. Big fan of her game.
She's amazing. Makes it easy to play with her for sure.
Oh, God, yeah. She was with them in the first half, and then the second half was Elle Sproul. Is it Elle or Ellie? Elle. Elle Sproul and Morgan McGathy, which I kind of like that you're all the first year. So that's like, hey, next 4 years, you don't have to worry about that line. So, yeah, if you could talk a little bit about the style of play with them.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think us playing together, we definitely had like an added sense of camaraderie, all being first years, all of us experiencing a lot of firsts together.
Right.
But along with playing together, I mean, we're together all the time. All of us live in the yard. We eat dinner together most nights. So we had a lot of chemistry, I think, off the ice from spending so much time together. And that translated into us being able to work together on the ice, and whether that be communicating or just our style of plays. I think we played with a ton of speed, and obviously both Elle and Morgan are extremely skilled, incredible hockey players, which anytime you play with someone like that makes your job a lot easier and extremely fun. I would say we had a ton of fun playing together. So it was super, super exciting to play with them. And I mean, same with Ella and Jel, playing with anyone really. We're all a team, and so you embrace it, learn together, and try have fun, as much fun as possible.
It's crazy what that people who build teams, I don't know where the disconnect comes, and they don't take always into account the personalities off the ice, where how important that is. Even for something as stupid as beer, I play beer league, right? And even for beer league, when you are in the parking lot afterwards and it's one big circle of everybody talking, the team just plays better than opposed to a bunch of little cliques, And it's
for sure.
In the NHL, they just seem to lose that part of it, and it's so frustrating to watch. They talk about the Red Sox, how it used to be like 25 players and 25 different caps, and that's why they never won. That was always a thing. And I'm also a big fan of your coach, Coach Bellamy. We want to get her on here at some point. You could just talk about her and her impact on the program.
Yeah, I mean, she's amazing. She's a huge factor of why I'm here at Harvard. Just my own relationship with her and like her willingness to invest in my development and coach me and have that relationship that allows for coaching at such a high level is super important to me. And overall with the program, I mean, the strides we've made as a team and a program as a whole are huge. And I mean, we're already planning for next year and looking forward. And so like, I feel like that's a huge credit to Coach's abilities as a coach, and honestly, her skills is just working with us as people and building those relationships.
Oh, that's fantastic. And a neuroscience major with a secondary in liberal health policy. So yeah, take the easy route out. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing? I know Harvard's tough all over, but you're making it harder than you have to. And is that a med school track? Is that what that?
Yeah. So Harvard doesn't really have like a pre-med track. You can do a different concentration and still get all of your pre-med requirements. So I'm actually just had my advising meeting today. So I'm all in on neuroscience now.
That's awesome.
But it hits all my pre-med requirements, leaves some room for electives and whatnot. So I'm excited about it.
Oh my God, we're going to be able to call you Dr. McSweeney. It's going to be great. So your grandfather went there. You had went to camp there. She knew about the history of Harvard. Can I ask you about the Beanpot? How familiar were you with the Beanpot?
So I knew about the Beanpot because, you hear about it. It's like, oh, the Boston schools play each other in January. And my mom went to BU actually. And so she went to all the Beanpot games when she was in college. And she was telling me over Christmas break, she's like, you excited for the Beanpot? And she like pulled out these like Beanpot posters from college. And I was awesome. Like, wait, this is a big deal. So I didn't know a ton going in, and it didn't hit me of how big a deal it was until Beanpot season was upon us in Cambridge.
I will say, what's funny is me and your mom probably at some of the same games, which is hilarious. But I will say, my co-host Linda is much more into the uniforms. The sweaters you guys wore for the Beanpot, sick. I mean,
And
just
they
absolutely sick. Those are great. You have to save those for big games.
big games only in those. Those
Yeah.
jerseys we have some good memories in those from Ireland, and then
Yeah.
we had some rumblings. Oh, are we gonna wear the black ones? I don't know. And then we got to the rink and walked in the locker room and we were like, okay, like we've got this. The black ones are going tonight.
So for those that don't know, the Beanpot, the first round was at where was it? It was a BU. BU,
Yeah.
yeah, Walter Brown. And you guys matched up with BC, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
And then the two winners play each other where you got to get revenge for Ireland playing against BU. And buddy, I'm gonna embarrass you, but we're gonna play it right here. Hold on.
Oh gosh.
Oh yeah, of course. What are you kidding me? All right. So oh wait, we gotta start over. It's in somehow we must have lost it. So you get a breakaway,
Mhm.
and I think that's Healy that chases you down.
Yeah, it looks like
And then she hauls you down, and then the ref, and I'm always on the ref, but the ref made the right call. They gave you the penalty shot in overtime in the Beanpot final. What was going through your mind?
oh my gosh.
And I love this. You go wide, keep everything on your forehand, and then under the glove, snap. I mean, come on, buddy. And then look at that celly. That's top tier. Top tier right there.
Unbelievable.
I
Looking
won't
back
ask
on
you
it.
I won't ask you to say whatever you were yelling because I'm sure it's probably not PG. But so the fact that you get the breakaway, you're like, oh my god, I'm gonna win this game right here. Then you get hauled down, and I don't know, I don't know your style of play that well, but you're not, from what I've seen, you're not one of those hands up players like ref. You're
Hands
not
stay
like that.
down always.
Yeah.
Always.
So the refs made the right call, and again, I'm going to give them credit because I rip them when they don't. They made the right call, the penalty shot. And what's funny is I was up in the press area, and I came down for your game because I had a couple of buddies that I play hockey with, and their kids were there, and we were sitting 15 rows up behind the BU net. We were right there. You were coming right
Okay.
down Main Street at us. And when you got hauled down, we were all pointing. We're like, because we all play, we're all like, penalty shot. And they did it. That's your move. That's
Oh my
the
gosh.
McSweetness.
Yeah. I mean, you said I'm skating down the ice. I'm like, can't miss this breakaway. Like, when do you get this shot?
Yeah.
And then I'm on the ice and I'm like, oh gosh. And the second I got hauled down, I'm like on one knee. And I came back to the bench. My team was like, you good? Like, you hurt? I'm like, I knew she was going to call a penalty shot. I just needed to collect myself. So, I went to the bench.
The maturity that you have at like, what are you, 20? Good Lord. I would be shaken. My God.
I was a little scared. And then coach was like, the ref comes over. She's like, you choose like penalty shot or power play. And Coach Lou, she left it up to me. She was like,
really?
She's like, what do you want? Do you want it? And I was like, yeah, I want it. And so I can say full-heartedly that I didn't believe that I would ever have said I want the shot, but looking back, it's just like a testament to the like trust I have in my team because I knew no matter what happened, we were going to figure it out. And so I got to choose and I chose the shot. It paid off.
My God, for anyone listening from Harvard, I'm going to give this idea away for free. Harvard women's hockey, McSweeney on one knee, the silhouette, and all it says below is, yeah, I want it. And then on the Beanpot champ. I mean, come on. How many of those T-shirts will you sell? All I ask is that you give me one for free. So that the moment was not too big. Was that the biggest crowd you've ever played in front of?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah. Lower bowl filled, upper bowl a little sparse, but still, it was a very energetic and loud crowd. What was it like coming back on the campus after that?
Oh, it was incredible. I mean, just the moment itself, like I don't think I'll ever be able to top it. And then coming back to campus, are one of the few teams here at that point. It's mostly athletics back.
Right.
None of the students are back. So we came back and it's just like all of my athlete friends who were at the game were like in this one dining hall, and we brought the Beanpot the next morning. We're like eating cereal out of it. And
I was going to
we were
ask
like,
if it was
oh,
cereal or ice cream. Yeah.
cereal. Yeah. And they're like, oh my God, it was so cool. And I mean, to be back on campus, even when the normal students got back, people were like, oh my gosh, that was amazing. And like everyone knew about it. And I was like, oh my gosh, everyone knows like what happened. I'm like, that doesn't normally happen with our games. So it's been incredible. And just like, I'm a little worried we're not gonna be able to top it the next 3 Beanpots. We'll see what we can do.
I like how you say that's, hold on, I'm going to add this now and embarrass you some more. You like how you say that that's not part of your game, but you had a game against Quinnipiac that went to a shootout, and
it works.
right, oh, I did it again. Right here.
Yeah, just one too many moves.
It's the exact. You go wide to the left. You have the whole zone on your forehand, and zing right under the glove. And no disrespect to Marie Peterson, for BU, but Alicia Frank was she was one of the top goalies in the country this year for a Quinnipiac. Yeah. So I mean, that's your move, guy, right there. That's it.
I might have to switch it up. I feel like I'm worried we might be getting scouted a little, but no, I mean, stick with what you know, I guess. It's those situations you're going down the ice and you're like, oh, shoot, Deke, what do I do? And you just sort of have to trust it. So I think in the Beanpot game, I have no idea what I was thinking as I skated down the ice. So we'll see, but that's my spot. I enjoy.
What's the flex on your stick?
65. Okay. I have a pretty interesting, I still use a P88, which most people don't use. But 65 P88.
That's whippy though. That's why you can get that off.
It is whippy,
yeah. That's good. No, that's good. I wanted to ask you too, we already glazed Lucia because she was a beast in the Beanpot as well. I want to ask you about Ainsley Tuffy and the confidence that she instills upon you guys. I think she had over 50 saves. Yeah, I mean, just crazy. And the thing that gets me about her is she's so economical in her movement that if you don't know what goes into it, it looks like she's just like, whatever, and the puck's hitting her. But she's just so compact with her movement and so sharp on her angles. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, oh my gosh, Tuffy played incredible in the Beanpot and all season as a whole, right? Like to have a goalie that all 3 of our goalies are incredible, but Tuffy, her skill as a goaltender and her attitude just in the locker room and for us as a team is unmatched. And to have that behind you when you're playing gives you a little extra confidence, right? To know that like your goalie's back there and can make a stop if needed. And I think, on a personal level, a little tidbit during the Beanpot, after I chose the penalty shot, I was like skating back to the blue line and the ref talked to me and I'm looking at Tuffy and we just started nodding at each other. And that's when I was like, okay, we've got it. Right. So I think she gives the whole team this fire just to see her make those huge saves. But I think for me too, like in practice, she pushes me and we have a pretty strong connection, I think, after that Beanpot moment. So she's awesome to play with.
That's great. Those are the best stuff. The stuff that no one knows, those little moments like that. All right, so then as the season progressed, ECAC tourney, you guys beat St. Lawrence 3-2 in overtime to make it through the first round. And Tuffy had 27 saves. St. Lawrence led twice in the game before OT, and then Kaylee McDonald with the I meant to do that shot, right? Wasn't that the lob shot, right? I meant to do that. But what an ending to that game. I watched that game. I wasn't there. I was watching on TV. Just an unbelievable back and forth game. That was one of the greatest games of the year, probably for the ECAC, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, I mean, playoff hockey, anything can happen, right? So Tuffy played amazing. And that's one of those team moments, just bend, don't break is something we talked about all year. Things are going to happen. Mistakes are going to be made. Bounces won't go our way, but how do we find a way to just keep going and figure it out? And that's what we did. And I think that is a testament to Kaylee's goal. Like, no shot's a bad shot at that point, right? So we'll take whatever goal.
Rebound, right? She shot and then hit it again.
Yeah, and I just went up and I was on the bench, didn't see what happened, and suddenly I look and they're all like searching behind the net. I'm like, I think that's in. Yeah. But no, I mean, we'll take it. No one asks really how they go in at that point, just that they went in. So that's what we focus on.
I knew the St. Lawrence goalie knew where the puck was. And then the thing that I love about the ECAC is the three game series. Hockey East doesn't do it, which is a huge detriment in my opinion. If you've listened to the podcast, you've heard me go on and on about that. But you had a tough draw, number 10 in the country, Princeton. You guys split during the regular season, so that gave you some hope going in. Friday, the 1-0 game. Then Saturday, you did your job, 1-1 and 2, in the middle game. And then Sunday, the game got very chippy, very physical, which I think favored them in terms of the experience and the size that they have over you guys.
Yeah,
You
I mean,
your squad, and I think playing that nasty edge game was something you guys. It looked like you guys were like, wait a minute, a little bit.
yeah, I mean, I think the first 2 games, we come out of the season, we're like, okay, we're tied with them record wise. Like now we're in a 5-game series here, like for the season. And so to get to that 3rd game, it's do or die, a lot of pressure. We're a young team, and we've been able to handle a lot of that pressure, and we've had some great leadership from our older kids on the team. And you said the game got away from us a little bit there, and I think it did. And I do appreciate, though, as a team, the fight to stay in it. I mean, to not quit, at least from our energy on the bench and the talk in the locker room, to not give up until that final buzzer was something that I'm super proud of. And like you said, we're a young team. And so that means that we've all had this experience in our first year, right? So we can take our learning from that and apply it. We're already thinking about how that won't be happening to us, hopefully anytime our next 4 years or 3 years now. So we're just trying to take it as a learning experience. Obviously, not how you want your season to end, and a bitter way tough drive home, tough few weeks after, but looking back a little time after, we're going to figure it out for the next one. So,
and it's a building block, right? It's your first time that you guys as a group had experienced that. And again, it was a nationally ranked team all season. You guys were up against it, but you battled the whole way through. You were all supporting each other, and it's something to put in your tool belt that you can rely upon next year in a similar situation. You've seen it, you've done it, you know what it is.
For sure. And I think it leaves us hungry for next year, right? Like, we don't want to be in that situation again. So how are we setting ourselves up all season and working this off season to make sure we're ready when that time comes?
Oh, that's great. And then we were talking about the young squad, 7 in your class, 6 sophomores, 7 juniors. And I don't want to say only but you're only graduating 3 seniors. And I know it's not only, they're all vital parts, but when teams graduate like 7 or 10 seniors, you're like, oh boy, that's, tough. You guys, and we talk about this whenever we talk with players. Your freshman year, you're figuring out deer in the headlights. Your sophomore year, next year, for you like, all right, I got this. And then your junior year, you're like, all right, now I'm in the leadership role. And I think by having a young team, that accelerates that for all of you guys.
Yeah, no, it does. And I think, like you said, we are only graduating 3 seniors, but they are a huge part of our team this past year. So there's definitely some roles to be filled. And I think, like you said, deer in the headlights, we were just sort of, you come in your first year and it's the same game, right? It's all hockey, but there's so many other things you're adjusting to. Living away from home for the first time, managing like your life basically by yourself, school, and just getting acclimated to that. And then you're playing on a new team and all those things. So it's the same game, but definitely like a little bit of a, how do we figure it out, navigate it? But I think, we as a team, we really focus on everyone having a voice and everyone being a leader. And so I think that's just given us as first years the opportunity to grow those skills already. And, that's not a bad thing. And it means there's a ton of leadership roles on our team that get filled, whether you're a captain or not, a senior or not. So I think it really benefits us too.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And we talked about, you talked about the building block of the Princeton game. This whole season's a building block for you guys in terms of knowing what you have to do and the leadership that comes with it,
Yeah, for
all
sure.
of that. No, I think the future's bright, at least. I mean, well, as long as your coach is there, the future's going to be bright. But the future's definitely bright with this group, I think. And then, whatever your freshman class coming in can contribute, that's just gravy, really, at this point. You never know.
For sure, yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I cut you off.
No, I completely agree. I mean, this is we're first week back from being off, and we're already talking about next season. So we're setting goals, we're getting ready, and I think it's just the future is super bright here.
It's crazy. You think about it, you're like, we have so much time to do everything, then all of a sudden you're like, wait, what? It's when? We got to do what? Yeah.
Yeah,
It creeps up on you. It's crazy. Like they say, don't blink because you'll miss it, and that's true.
so true. Yeah, it's flown by.
That's great. That's great. All right. So that's the serious stuff. Now we got the excuse me, I gotta mute my thing here. I've been battling this cough
No
for
worries.
excuse me. I've been battling this cough forever. It feels like this is the downside of having a kid. Um, little carriers come home, patient zero every day, and I can't figure out how to mute my mic. So, team related, we're gonna go. These are about the team.
Okay.
Who's the best dressed on the team? Who's the game day fit champ?
Oh, okay. I'm gonna give it a tie, a three-way tie between Ainsley Tuffy, who's our fashion advisor as the team as a whole, Elle Sproul, and Zoe. Zoe has some solid outfits also.
Nice. You like it when a goalie puts in the time and effort too. Like they don't have enough to do. Who's the biggest on ice chirper on the team?
Oh, there's a lot, but I think Brooke. Brooke has some good chirps. She's always coming up with new ones.
Nice. Is there someone that keeps the team loose? Like in a tense moment, is there someone like, oh, I had my guy, or something like that?
I think a bunch of people do it. I mean, we're pretty positive on the bench, so I feel like that's a team effort. Like when it's needed, you see that moment, take it.
Okay. In your opinion, who's the best skater?
Oh, gosh. Morgan McGathy's a pretty fast skater. I don't know. She's pretty
Okay.
fast. So
Okay.
yeah.
Best hands. This is where we get you in trouble with all
This
your
is where I'm
teammates.
getting HH, I love you all. I'm so proud of you all. And Gel has pretty good hands, pretty smooth
Okay.
hands.
Do you have any pregame rituals or superstitions? And is there anyone on the team that you don't want to blow them up, but anyone on the team that you're like, oh, I'm not bad. You should see her.
So I have a lot. I'm gonna be honest. I have a lot, but they're not like if I don't do them, we're gonna lose the game. It's like
Right.
I know what I like to do. So I get
That's
to
what
start.
everybody says, right? When they go,
I
don't have
know.
superstitions. I just have the same things I like to do in the same order every time.
Exactly. So I have a lot, but I think Zoe has a lot. She might beat me out for it, and she's a little bit more intense with them than I am sometimes, but we're pretty close. We share a lot of them, so I feel like I'll take part of the blame on that.
Okay. One person on the team that you need, no matter time, place, location, who you calling if you're in a jam, or texting, whatever. It doesn't have to be a phone call.
I feel like Kate Kasica, our captain this past year, she's like, I have a problem. She's probably like my number one call.
Perfect.
Number one advice, like anything. What class should I take? How do I get to this building? Who do I send this email to? She's my number one.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, now here's the lightning round. These are for you.
Okay.
Favorite cartoon character?
Ooh, either Phineas or Ferb from Phineas and Ferb.
Okay. Do you tape your stick heel to toe or toe to heel?
Heel to toe.
Black or white?
White.
Thin or thick?
The 1 inch thin.
Okay, yeah. Would you rather fight a horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
I don't like ducks.
Never had that. Never had that answer.
Yeah, I don't really. I feel like duck-sized horses.
Yeah, that makes sense if you don't like ducks.
Yeah.
Would you rather be able to speak every language in the world or have the ability to talk to animals?
Every language in the world. I'm really sad that I'm not fluent in a second language, so I feel like that could solve that.
Okay. Besides hockey, what pro sport would you pick to be successful at?
Tennis. Be on the tour. Yeah.
Good one. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would you choose?
Chicago. It's the best place ever.
You ever go to Gino and Giorgetti's?
No, I'm gonna have to put it on my list.
Yeah, I was there once. It's disgusting. It's great. It's unbelievable food, but like you get like a pork chop that's hanging off both sides of the plate. It's gluttonous, I guess is a better word. If you go get the garbage salad for the table,
Okay.
it's I don't think it's on the menu, but it's literally like everything. It's like an antipasto on steroids. Start, bench, or cut sushi, ice cream, pizza.
Okay, so I'm gonna start, bench, or cut. I'm going to cut sushi. I don't eat fish, so that really limits my
Oh, okay.
sushi. Pizza and ice cream.
Yeah.
Oh, we're starting ice cream. We can bench pizza. I love
Okay.
desserts.
I'm gonna add this question in right now because we brought up pizza. Are you a Chicago pizza? The
I
deep
enjoy a
dish?
good deep dish, I do, but I feel like in my it's like a once a year situation. You can't
It's a
overdo it
lot.
with the deep dish. It's a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
a lot.
What pro player do you most look to as a comparison to how you play? Is there someone in the
Ooh,
PWHL that you're like, oh, I play the same style as them, or NHL? Could be either.
that's a great question. I feel like it's definitely changed from Patrick Kane as I've grown up and like tried to change as a player. I feel like I've been watching a lot of Montreal or yeah, the Victoire
Yep.
games. So I think maybe Laura Stacy. I don't know. She's
Oh,
been someone I've noticed recently, especially after the Olympics. So I'm
that's a good one.
excited to watch. Yeah.
Yeah, she's very good. Um, do you prefer cats or dogs?
Dogs. But I'm
All right.
allergic to them. It's kind of complicated.
A lot of people like that. Since you said dogs, I would ask you to compare your line mates to breeds and yourself.
Oh. Um I'm really limited in my dog breeds. I think like Morgan gives German Shepherd.
Okay.
I think for sure. I like would like to say I'm like a golden retriever. I don't know. That's a little idealistic of me, I think.
Something to shoot for.
And yeah, exactly. And then I feel like I'm not doing justice to Elle. I feel like Elle's really locked on her fashion game, which sort of gives poodle of some sort, but she's also I'm not
They're
going to
very smart.
categorize her as
They're
a I
technically
feel
a
like
hunting dog.
yeah, they are really smart too. I feel like she's some sort of like mix. She has a lot of sides to her. So I'm not going to nail her down to one.
That's fair. And Lucia, if you're listening, you're a pit bull. And I mean that complimentary. Um, favorite. Take Bright Landry out of this.
Okay.
Favorite and least favorite rinks that you've
Mm.
played in.
Oh gosh. Favorite TD Garden. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
can't
yeah.
go
I gotta
wrong.
change it up with the Beanpot players.
Can't go wrong with TD.
Yep.
Least favorite. I feel like, that drive to Clarkson and it's a tough rink to play in and that drive up there, you're like in the middle of nowhere sort of. So I think Clarkson probably. I
Okay.
enjoyed the St. Lawrence barn. It's old school.
Everybody talks about how great the ice is there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You have your own music festival, the McSweeney Music Festival.
okay.
Give me your top 3 artists, living or dead, that you would have.
Okay, well, Olivia Dean is
Okay.
gonna be there. A country music of some sort. Oh boy, a lot of pressure here. I'll add Noah Khan in there. So Olivia
Okay.
Dean, Noah Khan, and then Cantner. Ooh, I could. I'm gonna go. I think Lainey Wilson. She has
Okay.
some good
Yeah.
ones. Yeah, we'll
Nice.
go with her for the country.
Most famous person in your phone.
Oh, in my phone. Jessica Campbell, probably.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And then this is my co-host who's not here. This is her question.
Okay.
Give us 3 people, glass breakers, that you think we should reach out to have on the podcast.
Ooh, okay. Gosh, who should come? Coach Bellamy.
Yep.
Do my first
Starting on
one.
our list. Yep. No, that's good though.
I think I think Ainsley Tuffy would be such a fun interview. She's a character and she's amazing. Would have a lot to share. And I'm going to give a shout out to a non-Harvard affiliated person, Isabella Grotzel on Brown, number 13.
All right.
Played with her my entire time growing up. And she's an amazing hockey player, but I think she'd make a great interview also. So
Oh, that's great.
shout out Bella. Yeah.
We have some connections through Brown, so that's cool. Yeah. All right. Well, that's all we got. I want to thank you again for doing this. I'm glad we finally worked out the timing. It was like a nuclear launch to get this all lined up. But no, I'm stoked to go back to Bright Landry, watch you play. It's a fun team to watch. If you're in the Cambridge area or you see Harvard coming to your local college, definitely worth the price of admission. The bang for your buck from the Harvard women's team is unmatched. It's fantastic. Fantastic group. No, so
Yeah.
thank you again for doing this.
Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it. It was a great time chatting.
Oh, that's great. All right. Well, thank you. Remember to follow us on all socials at BTG Hockey Pod. You'll see me and Linda back with our usual nonsense coming up. We'll be recapping the weeks in the PWHL now that the NCAA sadly is over. But yeah, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.